Hello everyone, welcome to our very first episode of Sit with Us, the Sulam Session podcast. My name is Alia.
And I'm Isha. We're thrilled to start the podcast with you. If you're new here, this podcast is part of our Sulam project, Service Learning Malaysia University for Society. The idea is to take what we study in class and we apply it to real life challenges that impact our community.
And for pilot episode, we thought what better way to start than by talking about Sulam first. So why it matters, how it contribute, how it connects to our social. So Isha.
Okay, so today we have two very special guests with us. First, we're honored to have Madam Shaliati. Hi, Madam.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Okay. Our lecturer for this subject and someone who's been guiding us throughout this project.
And joining us as well, our project leader Fahrin, our classmate also, who has been the mastermind in this and organizing and leading this Sulam initiative. Thank you both for being with us today.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Okay, so before we dive in, let's start with something simple. Okay, if you had to describe yourself, I just need 3 words only. What would they be? How about you first, Madam?
Oh, thank you very much. You caught me off guard, definitely. Well, 3 words. I guess I would say cheerful. Okay, I have to be that no matter what.
Yeah.
Right. I hope I inspire. Right. Because I think being a teacher, this is something that you are supposed to inspire your students to become. Because I have a lot of students, I hope that I can guide them throughout their studies. And last but not least, I would say, I think I'm funny.
Funny?
Funny?
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe. In the most unexpected way. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, how about you, Farin?
Moving on. I'd say I'm a bit more on the ambitious side. Well, first and foremost, I've never made a podcast before. This podcast over here, it's just like heralded by a bunch of first timers. Most of us are first timers. Most of us are veterans. So it's more of like a melting pot of like ideas between my team and from me. So it's more or less it's a learning experience. Second of all, I'm a learner. We learn, everything. Life is a learning process, right? So you have to like keep on learning each and every day. And for the third one, I guess I'm a bit kalut, I'd say, in the sense that like I panic over everything and I pre-plan everything to the point where when it gets overwhelming, I think Madam has heard me complain multiple times, like, Madam, do you think I'm doing the right thing, and so on. So yeah, yep. So yeah, I think that'd be all for me.
Okay, what is such a incredible answer that we hear? So, do you want to know about us? Okay, no need lah. Okay, move on.
Moving on. All right. Let's go to our first segment, Understanding Sulam. Okay, so a lot of students, including us, at first might not fully understand what Sulam is. So, madam, could you please explain to us in a simple terms what is Sulam and why is it important for us as students to participate in it?
Thank you very much. So, I believe Sulam, as we already mentioned, the full name of it, right? It's actually an embedded courses. It was first introduced by JPT, which is Jabatan Pengajian Tinggi, where for them they wanted to include some a special course where the students not just going to be in classroom alone, all right, doing assignment, but they will be engaged with the community around the UCs that they are at. So right now we are now UPTM, UCT Polytech Malaysia, right? We are now in Taman Syamilin Perkasa. So we were hoping that we can reach out to the community, bring the students not just learning through textbook, learning through classes from classes. We want to bring the knowledge that they have learned in class and apply it to the actual real world. Right now, our community needed us. our expertise, our professionalisms, our knowledge, especially to engage with them, address the current issue that they are in, so that we have produced a very good graduate students who are not just well versed in the knowledge wise, but also have some form of empathy, engagement with the society. Like this is the one that we always, in my years, we give back to the community. So Sulam is that. Thank you.
That's a great way of putting it, madam. I think sometimes we forget that what we learn isn't just for exams, right? So, but actually for our real life, like outside the classroom. Okay, so for the next question, madam, from your perspective, how does this project connect with Sulam and Sulam mission of linking academic knowledge with real community engagement?
All right, thank you very much. So, actually, when we say about Sulam, especially what we are doing right now, this is our first time, I would say the word. We are breaking history, people. UBTM do not have any like project as what we are doing right now. This is, I mark this as our first time Sulam advocacy, all right, where we engage with the community, not directly, as what you usually know. When we say Sulam, we have a project that we go to the community, talk to them, speak to them. But we go with another approach of Sulam, what we call advocacy. So when we say the word advocacy, actually, we want to use this podcast as a platform to engage some form of awareness to a much wider audience, because when we go to a specific community, we only are limited to that place alone. But with this podcast, we hope that we can reach out to as many as possible people that maybe are experiencing the issues that we are going to cover in the next coming issues and in the next coming episode. So I hope that helps with that. Okay. All right.
That's interesting to know that we are the first ever podcast Sulam.
Yes.
Okay, so Fahrin,
Yes.
okay, so as a student leader, how do you see this project as a part of your own learning journey in university?
Well, first and foremost, I wouldn't really consider myself a student leader. I am just a student who happens to be a leader of a project. What do you? What was the question again? Sorry. How do I see the project as a part of my learning journey? Well, first and foremost, I think this project opens up like avenues, gateways to more skills in the future, like for that you can use in the future. Like, making a podcast isn't easy. People might just say that, oh yeah, you can just use a phone or whatever, but no, it's more intricate than that. You need to have a good camera, you need to have a good software, and you need to have a good microphone, right? And technical stuff isn't easy. It's also, you can like sorry, you can like apply these skills that you have into the future. And hey, maybe you can put it on your resume, right? Like, you can like flex to your like employees, like sorry, employers, and say like, hey, I know how to use OBS, I know how, I have a podcast and all. And you can also like use this podcast as some sort of like connections, because I think personally for UPTM students, the chances for us to create networks, for us to network with other universities, to other students, it's a bit limited. So by making this podcast, we hope to like create, we hope to like create more connections and more networks and so on lah. And finally, I think this can also brush up your soft skills in the sense of communication, in how you talk with other people, how do you present yourself to the public, and so on. Because your employers, they want, they want soft skills, they want to know how you present yourself. So in a way, this is a chance for both students and both, the people around us, the community, and both the crew that are working in this podcast, to brush up on their soft skills. So yeah, I'm so sorry, that was a bit long-winded, but yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Madam and Farin, for the answer. Now that we understand the bigger picture. So right now, let's talk about what students actually gain from Sulam Madam. So the question is, what are the biggest skills or values you hope students gain through this participating in Sulam projects like this podcast? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, welcome.
So, when we say the word skills, as Farin already mentioned, soft skills, we talk about not just in terms of communicating the ideas that you have and transpire through these social media channels and so on. We also talk about how the students are able to become a good leader. All right, the leadership skills, apart from that, problem solving. I think at this point, we have come across with a lot of challenges, and Alhamdulillah, I would say they managed to rise up to the challenge, and they are able to solve it in a way. So I think this is one of very important skills that I hope my students are able to go through with it. When we say about skill, is something that sometimes not just on the book, you got to experience it yourself, you got to learn and make mistakes, but somehow along the line, the experience itself, you can never get it from other subjects, to be honest. Sulam is one of a kind that you can try to come out from your comfort zone and learn a lot from not just attending the courses, or I mean attending the podcast, but building it from zero, from grass actually. So this is something that I hope to able to inspire the students, and hopefully everyone will learn something from it. Okay.
Okay, wow. Yeah, I agree with what everything you say, madam, because I think soft skills are things we can really learn from a textbook. And this project is pushing us out of our comfort zone because I'm scared doing this podcast.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Well,
Which
me
is-
too.
Me too.
Me three.
Me four. I mean, like, it's a good thing. Yeah, okay. So the next question is for Fahrin. Okay, from a student points of view, what have you personally learned so far from leading this project?
Oh, that's a tough question. See, I have a audience behind the camera, and if I say something wrong, I'm afraid that like there's gonna be some mutiny or
Just
whatever.
say it.
Okay. Okay. So from a student point of view, okay. So personally, I've learned how to manage my time well, and manage how to, manage my time well. Because I think I've said this time and time again. I get very scared. Okay, listen, I get very scared. Okay, and when things don't go my way, like if things don't go as planned, sometimes I overthink, and sometimes I have, I feel like I'm going to, I feel like everything's gonna crash down, right? And I'm, but at the end of the day, one of the main things of leading a project is having trust in your team members. And I think, to be honest, so far it hasn't been easy, but I trust my team members more than anything, because I know that at the end of the day they'll always pull through. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Clap, clap, clap. Okay.
And also
Okay.
oh wow, okay.
We had an audience.
Audience, by the way.
Thank you, audience. And also, one of the things that I would say that I've learned is being a leader is not easy. Whoever is involved was or is involved in project management, and who and keeps on saying like, oh, managing a project is so easy, they're lying to you. They're lying to you. No project manager has ever said that a project is easy. So yeah, communication is one of them. And yeah, it's also very important to, it's also very important to make your, not orders, like your, what you want, your vision clear, and so on. So yeah, that's what I've learned.
Can I add something, maybe?
Sure.
Like whenever you like doing a project, you can't really say that it's a job of a one man show or one woman show. It consists of, I can't say that it's not for me. I'm not the one who manage and to be like take the name or took the name for the success of this program. Actually, every single one person who are involved in this project are all responsible and all are acknowledged to become like the key factor to success for a project. So what we are doing right now is just a mere small scale onto the bigger picture that we are heading to. So we hope that with this pilot, podcast, will open more doors to more discussion, more serious, deep dive into the actual issue that we are going for. Right?
Yes. I mean, like, leadership is definitely challenging, right? But also rewarding. I think a lot of us has been learning alongside you both, Madam and Fahrain, even in small ways. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Same goes for me. Love
Yeah.
y'all.
Okay.
Love y'all.
Okay. So this question is actually for both of you. Okay. What challenges usually come up when students are involved in Sulam projects, and how can we overcome them? Them.
Oh God.
Okay.
Okay.
What she says.
Oh God. Huh, eyes on me. Anyways, I think one of the more this is like a this isn't really like exclusive to our project only, but also applies to like most projects, most major or minor projects. Communication. One of the main problems of a one of the main problems that will appear time and time again in every project is communication. Person A wants has this vision, person B shares the same vision, but maybe does things at their own pace. So there's not really a single way, like not really a solve all solution on how to solve miscommunications and so on, because maybe for me personally, I like to be direct with my words. I like to just tell them like, hey guys, if you have like any problems or anything, just let me know. But maybe some people, they don't really share that same, they don't really share that same approach. So what works personally is to find a compromise. Like if person A has this vision and person B has another vision, maybe they'll try to make do. Maybe they'll like go to a mama or something and say like, hey man, nice teo ice and all that stuff, right? Over a glass of teo ice, over a glass of cheese naan or whatever, and just go like, hey man, maybe you could talk this out. I really want this project to work, right? So maybe you can like find a middle ground. So yeah. Mm-mm.
By the way, I like nanches.
Me too.
Favorite, is it?
Yes. All right, thank you. So when we say when you ask me about the challenge, my answer will come more from the perspective, not just as a lecturer. I am the head for what we call community relation unit. It's actually a very small unit, but we are the one in charge of the coordinating all the Sulam so far projects and programs throughout the three faculties that we have in UBTM. We do have from the education side, FASH, from the computing side, FCOM, and from the business side, FABA. So, what I can say the challenges would be for me, myself, from the perspective of the leader. Um, Coordinating itself for a large scale people right now at this semester alone we have around we call it section but it's actually classes. We got 47 classes. So the project also mirroring the sections that they have. So to handle a lot of projects, we are heading towards like time limit, financial support, having to collaborate with the community, and it needs to like align with the community schedules. So these are some of the challenges for Sulam, and the students are actually sometimes meet up with an end corner, like they do not know what to do. So it's good for us, again, the communication thing, where the students will communicate more with their teachers, Sulam teachers to engage with more like discussion ways to solve problems over a nunchies hopefully. Okay, over a nunchies and maybe some teh tarik hopefully. But this is something that I think I do agree with Arin, where communications are the key holder to success, because we can't really like from an idea you want to put it into actions, you need all on the same board, on the same board to say that everyone agrees towards it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we hear that communication is the key, okay? So please communicate. And actually challenges are really part of the learning, right? So is I mean like a problems can turn into a lesson. So
True.
so last question for madam. Okay. Is for my part actually.
Okay.
How do you think Sulam helps prepare students for the workplace and real life social responsibilities?
All right. So I'm always telling my students, when you are engaged with the community, you are basically bring along the image and the reputation of not just the institution. We're not talking just the UBTM itself, but you're talking as you, the students of the faculty. You are the students of the program that you are from. So whenever that you are engaging with the community, you are also engaging with your potential people who are going to look how you work, your work ethics, your responsibility, your planning. So all of these are actually skills for future employer. So Sulam also have what we call a quadruple helix, where they have this connection of what a good Sulam project looks like, not just between the students and the community and the university. We also included industry people, government sectors, so that they can join in to make the program more success and more visibility. So when you have these potential people who are in the same line as your field that you are in, for example, let's say, if let's say you are a TESOL students, you included all the students, teachers from schools nearby. So this is also to open up the possibility, employability, all right, where the future employer will be interested in you, knowingly how well you work and so forth. So it's a kind of like first glance onto whether you are potential enough to proceed to the next round, somewhere along that line. So I hope this can open more doors for the students to be engaged with their potential employer, hopefully. All right. That's all.
Okay, that is such an important reminder. We're not just students, but we're also future future professionals. Sorry.
It's okay.
Alright. Okay, for the next segment, let's now connect how Sulam with let's now connect Sulam with the theme of our podcast series, which is bullying.
I'm really so happy about bullying.
No, wait. Okay.
One.
Different.
Exactly.
Okay, wait. Okay. One, two. Wait.
Let's now connect Sulam with our theme of our podcast series. I'm really sorry, guys. Okay, we're not laughing about the theme. We're actually
It's serious.
It's
serious. It's
so
very
for the
serious.
pilot episode, let's just have fun while it lasts.
With bullying.
Wait. Stop.
Sorry.
Okay,
Sorry.
I'm really
Sorry.
sorry for laughing. Okay, so which is bullying, which is something that affect many students. Okay, we already know that. Okay, so madam, how can using Sulam as a platform make discussion about social issues like bullying more impactful compared to traditional classroom setting?
Well, when we talk about bullying, it's actually a very hot topic right now, with a lot of cases that were going around in our country right now. I believe that when you put it into the perspective of textbook, for example, right, you are only going to learn, you're going to look at it from one side of perspective. But when you put it into the public eyes, what the podcast is all about. We want to put this issue into where everyone are fully aware of what we are doing right now. We are trying to reach out to people. You know, when we talk about bully, it's actually very sensitive, and sometimes it can be even taboo, because they don't have the strength to actually come out, tell people about it. When you experience yourself more towards you yourself, you kind of like close out, close in, and not telling anyone. So we hope these podcasts, when we talk about bully, it's actually we try to open up the potential possibilities, ways, things that you can do if you are a victim of bully, for example. What can you do? The first step to move forward to something more positive. We know bully is actually a very negative issues, and we know that it's very sensitive issues that to build in or to talk about. But I think with this podcast, we break the tradition way. Okay, tradition way. We engage with the generation that are in right now. Most of us, I think most of you are the generation that look into social media as their daily,
Yeah.
food, their daily intake.
Correct.
So this is a way to and tell them that bully is something that you can't deal alone. You need
Correct.
support. So this is a form of support that we can give to the people who are dealing or experiencing bully. All right.
Okay, I agree, madam. I agree. Having a conversation outside the classroom actually can make it feel more alive rather than the classroom, because since we are Gen Z,
Yeah.
we are on the phone all the time. Most of the time we're on the phone, so
Yeah.
okay, so for the next question, Fahrin,
Yes.
why did you and your team choose bullying as the main issue for this project? And why does it matter to students like us?
Well, I think most of my sentiments are pretty much echoed by what Madam Shirleyati has said. Bullying is a very hot top, not hot topic lah. It's a very unfortunate topic that plagues our society at whole, and even until now. I think most of us have grown up with campaign anti-bully, and you've seen, like, I could count the amount of times since what I was in Darjah 3 until Form 5, just writing kesan-kesan buruk bully.
Yes, correct.
Why bullying is bad, why everything is, why bullying is bad lah kan. But thing is, no amount of essays, no amount of studies can actually negate the harmful effects of bullying. If anything, I'd say bullies these days are way more advanced than how it was compared to our time back then. And especially in the age of social media, everything is streamed, everything has to be viral. And back then, with the amount of bullying that happens, no one really notices if someone gets bullied, no one knows, right, like no one knows the extent of how the bullying goes. But right now, especially with social media, people are more, I guess, exposed. Yeah, they're more exposed to the public. Like both perpetrators and the victims are exposed to the public. And especially right now, we are in the age of virality, in the sense, like, so everything has to be viral, right? Like, even perpetrators right now, they can't even, everything they have to, like, record, right? So hopefully, so, like, I think for our team, we don't really want to, in the sense, like, we don't really want to put so much pressure on the victims, because most of the time when it comes to campaign anti-bully, campaign this and this and that, most of the burden is placed on the victims rather than the perpetrators, right? Like, people, we say stuff like, oh, you have to speak up, the victims have to speak up, the victims has to do this, has to do that. But what about the perpetrators?
Yeah.
Right, there's not really much conversation on that. And even right now, I doubt that there is conversation on that too. It's more or less like, stop bullying, but what are we doing to stop it? So hopefully, by creating this podcast, we wanted to address not only the victims but also the perpetrators. We want to empower the victims and also make the perpetrators think twice. Like, am I really doing the right thing? Like, why am I beating up someone for no reason?
Yes.
So yeah, that's one of their main reasons why.
Very well. Well said, Fahrin. Okay,
Thank
so
you, thank you, thank you.
Madam, in your view, how can educational projects like this podcast encourage students to take ownership of community challenges instead of relying on only on institutions?
Well, when you are able to voice out your own opinion, you are able to say without hesitation, you own whatever that you say. That is the first step to actually become the ownership to whatever that you are doing right now, the cause that you are bringing. This is actually a very important thing because you want the students to not just be good at, their studies, their results, but also have empathy, have some form of like common sense to see that when you see something in front of your eyes and you see that it's wrong, you take the first action. So we hope that whatever that we share right now for this podcast will initiate, will put some light into each of us, the students' heart, to see that if you see something wrong, you act on it. If you see that this is bully, you do something about it, and you know what to do. You know what's right, and you know what's wrong. So I think that is very important. I think that this is the movement that we are doing right now.
Yes. That is inspiring. Okay, so it is a reminder that small actions like speaking up and take the smallest action matters. Okay, so the last question for this segment for both Madam and Fahrin, what do you think is the long-term value of student engaging with real-world issue through Sulam?
Oh, maybe you can go first. This is more of your forte, I think.
Well, I think we were going to the same circle still. In the end of the day, as me, I think even for our management from the our VC are all saying the same thing. Like we want to produce a holistic graduates. We want to produce a students not just good in their academic, but also able to serve the community, because in the end of the day you're not working alone, you're going to work with the
Yeah.
community, society, real people, real problem, real issue. So with that, we hope that we can engage the students in a way that might not be in the full-fledged circle, like scale, but at least you have a hint onto what actually really happened outside of this campus, what actually really happened, and we touch on as much ground that we can go with the expertise that we have.
Um, as for me, well, I think what one of the key takeaways that I want for this project, I mean this project as a whole, and hopefully this can be carried on by the students after us, is that we want to inspire. The first and foremost, our goal for the Sulam project is to inspire people, and hopefully we can make this sustainable. So future watchers, maybe you can like continue this project with
Student
with me
later.
You know who
yeah,
are you?
yeah,
Another expanded program.
exactly. So like hopefully later on, we'll have our future students to carry our torches, and maybe hey man, in the future we'll have like a second batch of sit with us the Sulam sessions.
Yeah.
Hey.
You know who are you, by the way?
Agree.
I mean, like, it's not just about a project, but
Right.
shaping us into more responsible and became more better
Exactly.
human.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Human.
Okay.
Be human.
Be human. Okay.
Our next motto: be human.
Be human. Okay. So I mean, like, we talk so many important things, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, but before we end,
Mhm.
we love to hear some advice and takeaway from both of you. What you,
Alright.
madam?
Well, if I was to say the final notes, um, I would say I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate all of my students, congratulate on having to be like there. I mean, you really have done your part, and you have done beyond my expectation. That's for sure. And for our Sulam podcast, hopefully for the next coming episode, stay tuned, please, to see what else that we bring in. We're gonna bring a lot of like people from expertise, people from the field themselves that revolve around the issue of bullying. So I hope you please stay tuned. All right, make sure you always aware of our slots and make sure you come. Okay, right? Presents are important. Okay, thank you.
What about you,
Oh,
Fahmi?
right. So as for me, I guess like one of the key takeaways that I'd like for students to have, well, not just students, just the general public, I guess, to have, is to come out of our podcast with maybe a heightened sense of empathy, because right now, especially with social media and especially with the rise of cyberbullying, we see haters all over threads, Twitter, and so on, right? We stay on these platforms, and it has morphed us into something so isolated, something so inhuman, right? And hopefully with this podcast we are trying to make it as accessible as possible, and also at the end of the day you might reflect on maybe you'll reflect on a past incident that you've made, maybe you've like reflected on the values that you have. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's more like I hope that our watchers, our listeners will reflect on their experiences and learn. Continue, keep on learning. Yeah.
So I think we reached the end. Okay.
Okay, we've reached the end of our podcast. Our very
Mhm.
first Sit With Us, the Sulam Session podcast.
Mm-mm.
We wanted to thank Madam Charlotte and Fahrain for joining us
Thank you for
today
having
as our
us.
guests and sharing their insights.
Mhm.
Okay. Isha?
And to our listener, thank you for watching us, by the way. And don't forget to follow first. Okay, you need to follow our Instagram,
Yes.
TikTok,
Mm.
and the most important thing is
Spotify.
Spotify. And the most important thing is don't forget to click, like, share, and subscribe our YouTube.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Slay.
Okay.
Slay.
Why did I get to say that?
Okay, okay. So don't forget to join.
us.
Eh, bukan.
We can try again. We can try again. We can try
Okay,
again.
wait, hold on.
Don't forget to join us, not us, another speaker on our next episode, where we will continue diving deeper into the themes of bullying with more special guests. Okay,
Okay.
Isha.
So
Until then, sit down
us
again.
again. So, ulang balik.
Can we cut that?
Sit with us again.
Okay.
Sula.
Ready?
One. Okay.
1,
2, 3.
Maybe we can like all four of us can do it together, right?
Okay.
Yeah, all four of us can do it together.
Until then, see with us again soon.
Okay, ready?
Okay,
1, 2, 3.
Until then,
sit with us
again.
soon.